Hi guys, Happy New Year. Apologies, it's been a few weeks since I've done a video. Just touching in for a market analysis video, 5th of January 2023. Right, so as always, we'll be kicking things off with the equities, starting with ES. During the last video, we were approaching this diagonal level and levels of horizontal resistance as well. And we can see that we didn't quite stretch for this upper supply region here. Instead, we wicked above, closed below, and now we've started to make our move lower. Now, if you recall from the previous videos, my assumption was very much that we will maintain bearish market structure until proven otherwise, i.e. we needed to see this level be broken out of and held and closed above and really take this high to break bearish market structure and flip it into bullish. We haven't seen that. So the assumption following fact over thought is that we go down to create a lower low, okay? I'm looking at this level here, which is a monthly SR level at the 3-4. Now, panning over to the weekly, we can see that level a little bit more clearly, okay? We can see the clean touch point here. So this is resistance flipped into support and would make a nice potential touch point for that lower low formation, okay? Now you can see this theory also lines up nicely with this weekly order block in here. So the assumption would be that we travel down lower into this area of the weekly order block and monthly SR. And from there we can assess the situation. Now that's of course the bearish and in my opinion likely scenario, but what we need to see for bulls is for this area to be flipped yet again. These levels still to be taken, nothing's changed there. And then of course we need to see this key level flipped, more importantly than anything, to invalidate the continuation of bearish market structure and flip it into bullish. Now a quick flip over to NQ and we can see this directional arrow marked on from our last market analysis video, untouched, and we can see that yes, it did very much maintain bearish market structure, failed at the diagonal trend line and is going again for that lower low. Now, similarly to ES, we have another key level here, which would make for a reasonable touch point for our lower low. And hopping over to the weekly, we can see that SR flip clearly here at the 9763 level. Now over to DXY, we have an interesting picture here. The momentum is starting to slow down, okay? And we can see that within price action alone, but we can also clearly see it on the daily AO. Now, what we really need to start seeing is that AO flip over to the bullish side, okay? So it needs to make the crossover. But it's very important that that momentum is sustained and we don't just have a quick blip to the upside before flipping negative again. Still, bulls have a lot of work to do and we really need to flip this 107.7s level for any sort of viable bullish thesis to come back on the table. Right, now on to the crypto side of things. We can see that yesterday we had some interesting price action, okay? So ETH has broken out of this consolidatory range, punched upwards and moved up into this supply region here. We can see this 4-hour supply region nice and clean here. If we go down to the 1 hour, we can also see that it was touching into a hourly order block here. Okay. So we have the move both into 4-hour supply and the 1-hour order block. And we can see as we did so, we diverged into the zone, okay? So we have the divergence here with the candle bodies making a higher high. The oscillators both making lower lows on the hourly. And they did so on the 30-minute as well. We can see the clear loss in momentum there across the highs into the supply, and we can see it again on the RSI. What we can also see is this inefficiency that price left in its wake as it moved up and diverged into these liquidity zones. So on the bearish side of things, what we really want to start seeing is this inefficiency start to get filled in, and then we can start attacking some of these lows. On the bullish side, bulls have a lot of work to do, okay? So first and foremost, we have to invalidate the bearish thesis, come up, exhaust the liquidity within this zone, reclaim it, and then we can start talking about targets higher up. Moving over to AGA, and I just want to go through some of the delta dynamics with you guys. Okay, so this is exactly what we want to see for topping out formations. We have these clusters of positive delta as price first made that move into the 4-hour supply zone. Then as price went for that diverging structure into the hourly order block, we can see this nice spike of positive delta across both the perp and spot markets. Price then comes down a touch, and as it tries to make more headway to the upside, we can see clear price suppression, okay, especially on the spot markets, indicative of failed market buying into suppressing asks. So that's it on the ETH side, and we started off with ETH because ETH has been leading the market over BTC, but we can't ignore BTC, so let's have a look, and we can see that we're still contained within this range here. But as ETH went up into those liquidity zones and failed, we also have this divergence here across BTC, okay? We can see flat topped on the RSI, and then we have a higher high on the candle bodies on the hourly. And we also went up and swept this high to take this liquidity at the 16,970 level. Now, yes, I'm sure some of you are looking at this and going, okay, well, there's unswept highs of the range highs at the 1760 level. But we have to remember, guys, that ETH was leading the move out of ETH or BTC. So we have to use that as our main directional trigger. And although that high didn't get taken, it's not as though this is exactly a particularly bullish picture with a divergence sweeping this level here, and the divergent structure across both the RSI and the AO on the hourly. So, gun to my head, my bias does remain to the downside on BTC, but we still have quite a lot of work to do, okay? We're at a sort of twilight point at the moment. What we really need to see on the bearish side of things is break down past the EQ, retest resistance, and at that point we can be slightly more certain that we're going for the range lows. On the bullish side of things, we have two clean levels here that we'd need to see reclaimed, like so. And if that were the case, then we'd be looking for a move higher into a similar zone that ETH had, i.e. 4-hour supply and the hourly order block. Right guys, so that's it for today. Try to keep it short and sweet. I hope you garnered some value, and yeah, just putting it out as I see it. I hope you gained some valuable insights, and happy trading.